You know how it is around here. Please give Examining Kubrick a chance. Also, please consider supporting the channel through whatever means. So, I will be name dropping Doug Scott Kramer a few times this video. I will do a more full thing in due time, but Doug is relevant regarding Aaron. But I'm going to concentrate on D.O.A. and his very erratic record. I will have to be careful due to YouTube, so I will play a little bit of some alarming evidence on his end. I will try to do more on this because there's something on Twitter that shows he's a racist. But YouTube is funny, so I don't know if I can actually show that. So I'll try to put that in the Bitchute channel. So what is the deal with D.O.A. and the squirrels and the SBTV rise of a nation or whatever they are? Well, good side, bad side. D.O.A., defender of ants, is basically this very opportunistic protester. He admits he is a professional protester. So apparently in the past, he was linked to BLM and some other causes, and he came into, quote, the anti-Scientology scene. And there's just a lot of issues and errors and mistakes and failed promises that make him a little suspicious. So why am I suspicious? Well, several things, and this is public record, but I want to be careful with the information. So it's well known he has a criminal record, but how bad is it? Well, apparently he has a few restraining orders in a few other states. He has one permanent restraining order. Now, again, we need more details. Is it because of what he did? The story is that apparently he was with an aggressive female protester, and so the protester basically retaliated, so he's innocent. Just a lot of alarming questions about where he stands and what he's up to, and then his own tactics are the usual. He's just screaming at people, he's yelling, and it's a thin line. Is he doing stalking, harassment? Maybe, maybe not. It's a little tricky. It's hard to tell. Added to this, he has a very rabid fan base that compares him, I'm not joking, to Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, they're actually making that comparison because Martin Luther King Jr. also went to jail. That's true, but he's not DOA. So now let's get to the evidence or show evidence of why we should be suspicious. Again, it's YouTube. I have to be careful how I edit this, but basically, apparently he was caught by the police. And they were asking why he was filming a very young woman.
My cousin did about a year for a pound of marijuana. Girl, I think she wants it. The way she's laughing.
13 years old. And he was filming her for a while. The audio is a little fuzzy, but apparently he was trying to show her legs. It's very unclear. There are also rumors, again, I don't know this for sure, that he makes revenge porn about the protesters he's with, and if he doesn't like them. And apparently he does show that to, well, underage people. We'll say that. A lot of suspicious behavior and definitely counterproductive. And then despite him supposedly trying to shame people if they support Danny Masterson, more than a few times he's been caught yelling at various women. Well, it's very terrible. It's very horrible.
Explain yourself. Tell a 13-year-old girl to shut her legs. Why? Alright, you guys go home. But you guys have an answer why you videotaped the 13-year-old girl for multiple minutes and why you told the 13-year-old girl to shut her legs. They come back.
I had to edit that carefully, but basically he was asking if they wanted the R word. Now let's bring this full circle because Aaron Smith Levin, who encouraged a lot of these people and has defended D.O.A. as a beautiful mess, as he calls it, has his own very large and notorious record. Again, we're only going to get into a little about this because Doug did a commentary. I think it was mostly pretty good, but I do think he made a few mistakes, factual as well as interpretive. He also, I think, made one great prediction that, yes, this would all come out. But again, I think he was very mixed on Aaron. I'm not here to speak for him. He did a very good video on this. So we're going to get into Aaron's bar altercation. We're not going to do the whole thing, but essentially, he got into a fight in a bar in Florida for calling a woman repeatedly the C word.
Craven, guess what I'm saying? She brought up something that happened 18 months ago, where while I was really drunk, I sent her a bunch of Facebook messages. Like, what do you want me to say? I don't know. She's super hot. I'm sorry.
But she was trying to de-escalate, and so was the boyfriend.
There are very notable things. I just want to piggyback on Doug Scott Kramer, who said, well, it seems basically you were yelling at this woman. He was just in the bar being loud, but he did repeatedly curse at her by using that word, and it was pretty clearly intended to provoke them. The boyfriend tried to de-escalate the issue, but Aaron kept going. They had a fight. He called the police, and he tried to lie to them. He tried to make it seem as if they instigated the fight. And this is what's really alarming, is he was running for political office. And he's acting like a damn fool. Now, I think Doug's interpretation was mostly solid, but he kept calling it a personal issue. It's not. These are very live political issues, and it is not stopping. Now we know he's been in a ton of toxic relationships, and he is showing a pattern that when he gets caught, he blames OSA, he blames Scientology, and he just does not take responsibility, and he tries to pivot around by gaslighting people. But there were witnesses, we also have footage, just doesn't match what he said. So I do think we should discuss these things, but carefully. Again, maybe this will be a little too scandalous, but we can see why D.O.A. does what he does because, again, Aaron is not much better. He's not much different. It is kind of a corrupt tree bearing very corrupt fruit in the case of Defender of the Ants.